Hello, everybody. Bear with me. I've got to set up to go on Facebook because I want to put this one specifically on Facebook. So I have to video myself twice. What did I make the title? Change, range, big Holt. Solicitor, police. Start live video. That'll work. Put that a bit like that. Close that. Get that closed up. That's it. That's where we are. Right. So I'm doing this one. I'm doing this one specifically for my solicitor because I want my solicitor's going to want to know what all this is about, and I'm also doing this for the police, so that when I go and speak to the solicitor and speak to the police, I can refer them to this video. So what I'm going to talk about in this video, and at the same time, this is an absolute direct appeal to Lee Holt of Change Range to get this sorted out between the two of us, because this has gone far too far, and people are going to be getting in trouble. And I am doing this. I want you to know I'm doing this for the solicitor, for the police. I've had enough. So, you know, we need to get to a point where we can either communicate, which would be the adult thing to do. I mean, Christ on a bike, you know, there are how many thousands of people dying on a daily basis, and we've got to have this continued silly palavers. It's a joke, doesn't even come into it. So my issues with Lee Holt started approximately 2 years ago, and they started because I was contacted by someone called Lisa McLaughlin. I think that's the right pronunciation of her name. And when I was contacted to say that there were, now I can't remember the actual word, I will be honest about that. It was either the word hundreds was used or the word thousands was used. But there's all of these unhappy customers that are coming into their group complaining about me and complaining about being ripped off and one thing and another. So I've always maintained, always throughout all of, if you go back and look at any videos I've ever done over the last few years, I've always maintained if somebody has a problem, I am going to sort it out. If somebody's got a problem with me, I will sort it out. Now, miscommunications happen, things get missed. Sometimes it can end up being the same bloody customer. And it's like, oh, really? Did it have to be that one that got missed? I mean, they've had so much trouble already. You know, anybody in business has that kind of thing go on. It's what you do about it that counts. I've always maintained mistakes mean nothing. What you do about those mistakes, now that means everything, or can mean everything in certain circumstances. So I'm contacted to say that there are all of these loads and loads and loads of people. Like I said, I can't remember, it was hundreds or thousands that was used, but all these people complaining about me, and it like freaked me out a bit. So there can't be that many people complaining about me. I'm not getting complaints like that coming through emails. I'm not, you know. So I go into the group. I can't go into the group because I'm blocked. So I let her know that. I say, well, I can't come in and defend myself because I'm blocked. Unblock me, I'll come in and defend myself. All right, she said, I'll unblock you. So she did, and I went into the group. There was the sum total, I'm not kidding, there was a sum total of about 5 people unhappy. One of the people that was unhappy, if we're going to get specific about it, one of the people that was unhappy, it was over Paddington. It's over a Paddington coin. I'd sold them in advance, which is what I used to do, sell coins in advance of when they land on the streets, and I go out and get them, wash them all off to everybody. And I'd used a mock-up picture, and the picture I'd used was a picture that the Sun newspaper had used. They'd used this mock-up picture of Paddington on a 50p coin, and I used the same picture when I advertised it, and this person bought it. This person, whoever they were, and it's immaterial who they were, it was just an unhappy customer. But this person was absolutely adamant that they had bought that coin and they wanted that coin. And I'm in this group and I'm trying to explain, look, that coin doesn't exist. It was just a mock-up. That's all. It was just, you know, because no one had the picture. No, absolutely, that customer wanted that coin. Now, Lisa McLaughlin at the time and Lee Holt, they were admins, right, of the group. And Lisa McLaughlin dived in on me like you wouldn't believe. And she was beating me up alongside this customer. And I'm going, look, I'm sorry, you know, we've used the wrong photograph. Hands up, sorry, what do you want? Tell me what you want, I'll give it to you. Do you want a refund? I'll give you a refund. Send me the coin back, I'll give you a refund. No, she didn't want to send me the coin back. Well, what do you want then? Because tell me what you want and I'll try and make it happen for you, because I don't want you to be an unhappy customer. I want the coin that's in that photograph. And this Lisa McLaughlin backed her up. Yes, you shouldn't have used the photograph. And I'm going, I know, I shouldn't have used it. I know, I'm sorry. How many times do you want me to hold my hands up and say I'm sorry? Shouldn't have used that photograph. Obviously, shouldn't have used that photograph because there are some people out there that will think they're actually going to get that particular one, even though it doesn't exist. You know, just like there are people out there that believe Coronation Street is real. What can I do about that? So, I've tried to placate these 5 customers. One of them was that person, and there was a couple of others. I managed to sort out, I think, 2 or 3 of them in the group. But that's all there was. They were supposed to, and I kept saying, where's all these thousands of people? There ain't no one. There's only a couple of people. So to go around and actually start mouthing off, going, oh, he's got loads of unhappy customers, tens, hundreds, whatever, it's all wrong. You shouldn't do that. And Lee Holt got in on that action. Now, since then, I understand, Lee Holt, that you and Lisa McLaughlin are no longer bosom buddies. I get that. And you've let me know that on more than one occasion. But that's where it started. 2 years ago, that's where that started. And they wouldn't leave it alone. And every time anybody said anything decent about me in a post, those 2 people, they would go in and trash me. They would go in and delete the posts. And so no one was allowed to leave a positive post about us. And at one point, you was only allowed to leave a negative post about us because all the positive posts were deleted and the negative posts were all were. So on it goes, on it goes, on it goes. And that went on. And so, and my complaint with Lee Holt was, A, you should never have done that. Now, why is that so important? I'm going to say why I think that's so important. There's a story, right? And this story is, you know, this little kid, this youngster goes to confessionals, right? And says in the confessionals, I'm really, really sorry, I've sinned and all that, I've gossiped. And the old priest says to the kid, look, what you've got to do is take this bit of paper, he tears up this bit of paper into loads and loads of bits and pieces. He does, tears it all up, and he puts it all in a little bag, and he gives it to the kid, and he says, now I want you to go over to that hill over yonder that you know, the one that's all windy and all that, right? I want you to go over there and I want you to let it all go in the wind. And then come back and see me. And make sure you do it on a windy day. So the kid does that on a windy day, puts all the bits of paper, fly everywhere they do, fly everywhere. Goes back, sees a priest or a vicar, whatever it is that they do. And he says to him, I've done that. So the vicar says, right. He says, where's the bag? He says, here's a bag, it's empty. He says, right, now I want you to take that bag and I want you to go back up there and pick up every little bit of paper. Because when you gossiped and you said all those nasty, horrible things, it's like that paper going right up in the wind. It spreads everywhere. It spreads. So now you've got to go and undo what you've done. Go and pick up all them bits of paper. So in the real world of the gossiping people that go around doing all this, in the real world, what that means is you should go back to every single person you ever slagged me off to because you was wrong, and you should put it right. And the reason that you haven't done that is that for the last 2 years, some of those people, they think that the rubbish that you've been spouting for the last 2 years is actually true. And that has cost me a lot of money. It's cost me credibility. It's cost me face. It's cost me an awful lot. It's cost me on my health. It's cost me an awful lot. To get trashed over something you haven't done is nasty. And it's costly. And it's hurtful. So what happens then? Every now and again, your name comes up. Lee Holt's name comes up. I have people contacting me, letting me know that their posts are being deleted, or they've been contacted by Lee Holt and essentially warned off, telling people not to have anything to do with me, telling people, you know, all sorts of negative crap that's got absolutely nothing to do with you, none of your business, but you've got to do this. That's harassment. And that sort of comes into a bit of stalking, really. Not content with that, all this goes on. We also have, there are people now that don't really have anything to do with me. And the reason they don't have anything to do with me is because Lee Holt frightened the pants off them. And how you frightened the pants off them, Lee, was the fact that you stalked them. You let these people know that you knew who they was. Now, who does that? What kind of bully does that? You let these people know who they are. When people come into Facebook groups, you know, the Facebook rules and terms of business and all the rest of it, they allow anybody to use any kind of profile picture they want within community standards reasons. And if people don't want to label their real name and address and phone number on social media, that's their business. But you, Lee Holt, you don't like that. You don't like it when people come into your group and you don't know who they are. You've got to find out about them. And that is wrong. That's starting to go over the bounds of legality. And you did that. And you did that to a couple of people and you frightened the pants off them. Family people, people that wouldn't put their face on a video. You had to let them know that you knew who they was. Now, if you have to know who people are, that's one thing. Oops, I speaking. I mean, maybe there has to be something to be said about that. But what kind of person volunteers it and lets the person know that they know who they are? What kind of person does that? Pardon me. That's heavy-handed, that is. That's a person going, look at my guns. Look at my guns. Because I'm a big boy. Because I can bully and control people. I know who you are. I know where you live. And all of that. It's not right. Now, I have proof of everything that I'm saying. I have absolute cast iron, 100% proof of. This is not me going, oh, I've got a gut feeling. Oh, feel sorry for me. I think this is happening. This is absolute cast iron proof from somebody who is supposed to be so respected in the coin community, who gets mentioned in the Check Your Change books, and who has his own connection with Ian Glenn of 288 Group. Now, whilst all this is going on with Lee Holt, I've also got issues with 288 Group and Ian Glenn. And I get to a point where I get to have a face-to-face meeting with Ian Glenn. And me and Ian Glenn, we thrash out a bit of a deal. And that bit of a deal meant that I was going to buy off Ian Glenn and Ian Glenn was going to buy off me. 288 Group were going to buy from me. That was where we come to. And that took a lot of doing to get to that point, let me tell you. What happens then? What happens then is Lee Holt kicks off again on the social media, and me, tired of all this crap, this is a year ago, over a year ago, tired of all this crap, I go straight to the man. I don't bother with the greasy rag. I go straight to the organ grinder. And I go straight to Ian Glenn and I say to Ian Glenn, look, mate, you've got to sort this out. You've got to rein in your social media. This is out of order. The kind of things, oops, let's just plug this in. I said to him, the kind of things that they're saying, the kind of things that this Lee Holt is saying and the kind of things that they're doing, you've got to stop it. You've got to rein them in a bit. Because this is interfering with our negotiations, I said to Ian Glenn. And Ian Glenn had the cheek to say to me that he couldn't control his social media. So that upset the apple cart, because now I've got all this shit going on with Lee Holt, and that now interferes with the deal that me and Ian Glenn have got, and Ian Glenn refuses to rein in Lee Holt. Meanwhile, and Lee Holt, by the way, his group is a Westminster group. That's what ties into Ian Glenn. You won't find any other links in his group apart from Westminster. Any groups that he manages, the only links they allow are Westminster Collection. They don't allow any links from any private sellers, anything like that. It's all Westminster Collection. So we have a tie and some kind of deal going on between Ian Glenn and Westminster Collection. And that in itself is rubber stamped by Ian Glenn's reply to me. Ian Glenn doesn't reply to me and say, Holt, Lee Holt, who's he? What's that? I don't know who you're talking about. He didn't reply any of that. He replies with, I can't control my social media. So he knows exactly who it is. So they've got this going on between the two of them. And then Lee Holt goes into the realms of stalking people, which is illegal, and warning people off, sending people messages. By the way, I've had a couple of people contact me lately to stand up and say, Ian, Lee Holt messaged me. I'm one of the people he messaged, warning me off, telling, and so on. If any of you have been messaged, anybody out there has been messaged by Lee Holt or Dave Hill, which is the bloke who works for Lee Holt, we'll come to Dave Hill in a minute, the coward. So if anybody has had any messages of any of these people warning me off, warning you off, I mean, from doing business with me, from sharing my posts, from doing anything with my links, from buying any of my coins, anything like that, please get in touch and let me know. I already have a couple of people, so I can. Once the solicitor and the police are involved properly, evidence can be given to them for the stalking. Hopefully, the people that they've stalked will be happy enough to stand up and swear to it, and then they're beat. So with all of that going on top of the stalking and the warning off and everything else, behind the scenes, the Change Range crew have been doing their utmost to interfere with, damage, and I'm going to say the word, destroy my business. They've been on a mission. In actual fact, it's not a mission. In Dave Hill's own words, it's a quest to do me as much damage as possible. A quest. Who does that? I mean, I've got my arguments with the Royal Mint and Change Checker and Ian Glenn and 288 Group. I don't go spending my hours trying to get them taken down offline, trying to interfere with their social media, trying to interfere with their merchandising accounts, and trying to interfere with any funding or crowdfunding or to get their sites taken. I don't do anything like that. I've got my arguments with them, but there's only so far you can go when you have an argument with somebody before you step over into the realms of criminality. You can't just do what you please just because you've fallen out with somebody. That's why we live in the society that we live in. There's rules to how you've got to be. Not allowed to just go and kick the door in and do people damage and go and slash their tyres and interfere with their business and, trying to get one of my websites taken down, poof, offline, gone, finished, is worse than turning up in the morning and stabbing somebody's car tyres and running away. They come out, all their tyres are let down, they can't get to work. They might get fired, it could do them damage, it could lose them money, all the rest of it, all because of spite. That's all that is. And this Dave Hill, working with Lee Holt, under the change range banner, under the change range emails, are contacting people like our service providers, our hosting providers, behind the scenes and asking them to take us down. And it was just lucky for me. I mean, as I said this in the other day, supposing it had worked, supposing they'd have got their way, they'd have taken my website down, and then they would have gone, see, we told you he's a crook, someone has taken his website down. And they wouldn't have even owned up to it. They wouldn't have put their hand up and gone, that was me. No, they'd have just left it all quiet. Our merchandising account on Teespring has been taken down, deleted overnight. All the work, hundreds of hours of work put into our merchandising account. Hundreds of hours gone overnight. One night it was there, the next day it was just gone. Crowdfunding campaign, got it going, we've got money coming in, we badly need it, we're desperate for it, it's crowdfunding, right? Nobody does it unless they really need it on crowdfunding. What do these people do? Took it down. We gave up trying to communicate. Oh, hello, Change Range. We gave up trying to communicate with Ian some time ago after his threats and bullying. The only people blocked from groups are those that tried to share TGBCH links. I was not an admin of that group. After his threats and bullying, really? Have I threatened you in any way with having your business taken down? No. Have I contacted any of your customers to warn them off? For any reason whatsoever? No, I did not do that. You did that. Have I contacted your hosting provider to have you taken offline? All the while smarmily going, it's not me, I'm not doing anything. Did I do that to you? No, I didn't. Did you repair the damage that you did to me 2 years ago? No, you didn't. Not once would you go and publicly do what I asked you to do and say that you got it wrong. And even since then, you still, even now, you are interfering with other posts that people put up and warning them off. We also had an agreement not to talk in public about each other, but Ian broke that agreement with these silly childish videos. You're absolutely right. But who broke the agreement first? Did I break the agreement by coming onto line and calling you out for what you've been doing, or did you break the agreement, you and your mate Dave Hill, by going on and trying to get our hosting provider taken down? I mean, are you denying that? That you have gone on and you have tried to get our hosting, you've tried to get us taken off, boom, like that, finished. No more website, without even being honest and letting anybody know. Dirty, underhanded tricks. I'm surprised you even got the gumption to leave a comment. You've got my number. My number is 07401 008 004, and this is your last opportunity to phone me. I kid you not, because it's being handed over to the solicitors and to the police. What I have on you is a lot, huge. What you've got on me is nothing. And if I was to sit here and read out every message between me and Lee Holt, oh, there are times when you're gonna see nothing but filth coming from me, because I have erupted again and again and again, because I knew they were playing dirty tricks, but I couldn't prove it. I knew it, but I couldn't prove it. Now I can prove it. Now I can prove it. Now I can prove a four-way conspiracy with Warren, you, Lee Holt, Dave Hill, and Angela, over the fact that you were stupid enough to let me know in writing that I've got a mole in the camp. At the time, only one person walked through the door. What kind of an idiot does that? We've sent a mole in your camp. Only one person walked through the door. I wonder who that might be. You've got my number. I have implored you. I am begged you, and I am begging you now, mate. You phone me, because if you don't, this is just going to go supersonic. Now, I will believe one thing. I'll believe that you had no intention of maybe causing as much trouble as your camp seems to have caused me. I'll buy that. But I'm not buying into the fact that you didn't contact our hosting provider when I've got the proof that you did. And that you haven't contacted other people when I've got the proof that you did, and you haven't warned other people off when I've got the proof that you did, and you haven't stalked anybody, which I've got the proof that you did. So all of this stuff has gone on, and it's gone on skullduggery behind the scenes. Now I've just got myself in lumber with a possible charge of blackmail, because I was stupid enough to say to Warren in writing, not stupid enough, I actually stand by it. I said to him in writing, if you don't give me back the goods that you stole, I'm going to put your ugly face on a leaflet, and I call him ugly from the inside, not the outside. And I'm going to put that leaflet out in your neighbourhood, telling all the people where you live what a crook and a scumbag you are. Send back the stuff that you stole from me. And Warren took that email and he went to the police and he says, "Oh, police, look, he's threatened to tell everybody that I stole from him." So they're talking to me about a charge of blackmail. And you can't have a case of blackmail come about without a proper investigation. And when these investigations go on, they're going to want to see your text messages, they're going to want to see your emails, they're going to look into all the messages that you've deleted. I don't have a problem, because I know I'm right. I know that you lot have been bullies. I know you've been working with Warren, you've been working with Dave Hill. There's a conspiracy on its own. Just two people is a conspiracy. Dave Hill has contacted our hosting provider, and do you know what makes me lucky? And they don't like this. They are going nuts over this. I am so lucky. It's like winning the lottery. My son is my hosting provider. How lucky is that? How lucky is that? My son is the hosting provider. So when they wrote to my hosting provider to get us taken offline, they wrote to my son. And now Dave Hill is constantly sending more and more emails. Even now, even this morning, Dave Hill on a change range email address, right? You know this, Lee, you're sitting there and you're arguing, but you know this, you won't even apologise. On a change range email address is writing to our hosting provider as of this morning saying he will not quit, he will not stop, and that Lee Holt has no control over him whatsoever. I've got that in writing as of this morning. So Lee Holt can't, he's saying that Lee Holt doesn't control him and he's going to do what he wants, but he's doing it under the change range banner. He's not doing it under his own personal email address, he's doing it under the change range email address. So if he's doing it under the change range email address, what does that mean? It means change range are doing it. That means you are doing it, Lee. Get out of that one. You can't get out of that. You are doing it. Because your idiot people can't keep that shut. At least when I go trappy, I talk about what's happening and what's real. And I don't go off snidey behind the scenes trying to do people irreparable damage. That is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Now, we're now at the point where we have the emails of change range trying to have us taken down offline. I also have the proof with the messages, because you can't delete them, of Lee Holt and Warren being in cahoots as far as sending a mole into our camp. Do I need any more evidence? So to recap, we have evidence of bullying. We have evidence of warning people off. We have evidence of harassment. We have evidence of stalking. And still, with a straight face, you want to put up an argumentative comment instead of phoning me and dealing with it. Because once the police writes to you and once the solicitor writes to you, you know that's it, don't you? You know there's no phone call, there's no nothing. Once that starts, that's it. And then the chips fall where they may. But I am trying to be the bigger man, because all I want to do is get on with my business. I can't sell my coins now because we've had that taken away from us. Website, funding, merchandising, eBay, deleted, 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 deleted. Overnight, every single time. Sorry, you want to tell me this is all in my head and I'm imagining it? No. And now we have the actual physical proof of change range being a part of that. How many of those change range took down and Dave Hill were responsible? It will cut me off when the phone goes. So that's it. I've done enough, because I'm going to have to pay the solicitor £200 an hour to watch this video. So I don't just want to listen to the sound of my own voice, as lovely and as sexy as it may be. I think the cowardly school bully has lost control of these thugs and will be turned on by them to save themselves. Lee Holt is going to pay, the police will come. Just quickly before the phone goes off again, yeah, like I say, it's going to cost me a fortune to have him re-watch this, but I don't care, because this is the route that I'm taking now. Last appeal, Lee Holt, you run and own change range as far as I'm aware. So you're the man at the top of the tree. Take a bit of responsibility, man up and give me a call. Let me and you sort this out without getting the solicitors and the police involved. It's got to stop. You've done enough damage to my business. I want it to stop. That's it. For those of you that want to support us, go over and have a look at Ian's TV, ians.tv. All the links that you need are there. Instead of me giving out loads of links, I only have to give out one, ians.tv. Join us, support us. I don't do anything wrong. I've been stopped from selling my coins. So now £1 million of a stock, I'm just giving it away. And I'm giving it away as fast as I can. And that's what I'm going to be doing all over lockdown. I'm just going to be giving it all away, because people like Lee Holt and Warren and Dave Hill have completely and utterly, and Ian Glenn, altogether, all of these people have absolutely stopped me from running my business and selling coins. So I've given up. You win that battle, I lose that battle, you win. I don't sell coins hardly anymore. Look at my website, thegreatbritish.co.uk. There's hardly anything on there. What is on there is overpriced, because I haven't had a chance to sort it out yet. So now I'm giving it all away. And if you want to join us, ians.tv, tgbchraffle.com, come and join us. Thank you, Chris, for doing this for me. And thank you, anybody, for joining in. And please share it. Please share this on Facebook. Don't let these people get away with it. What they've done is wrong, and it's got to be stopped. And that's why I'm doing this on Facebook. I will make sure 50,000 people see this video on Facebook. If every single person that you've ever met is going to come to you and go, Lee, what are you involved in? So last time, I'm imploring you, pick up the phone. Thanks a lot, very much. God, it feels good to know that you're not mental and that it's not in your head. Bye for now.